In previous class, we have seen what about the conformations of ethane, and as well as we have gone through some physical properties also. In that one physical property of ethane, that means alkanes, boiling points it was remained, that was depending on intermolecular forces. Okay, now I will go through different types of intermolecular forces. After that, we will go through that once again and we will enter into alkenes chapter. Is it okay, ma? Now let us see intermolecular forces. Observe this, it is very important, very useful for your next coming 12th class also. Observe this carefully. Intermolecular forces are of mainly three types. Those are van der Waals forces, dipole forces, hydrogen bond. While I was teaching chemical bond, at that time itself I told hydrogen bond is not actually ionic bond or covalent bond. It is intermolecular force present between one molecule and another molecule. Or that hydrogen bond is possible in the molecule also. That is called intramolecular hydrogen bond and intermolecular hydrogen bond. Like that, two types of hydrogen bond we have seen. Here we are going to discuss intermolecular hydrogen bond only. Okay. Now consider the examples, all of you. Hydrogen and hydrogen atom. That means hydrogen molecule. Now coming to van der Waals forces. Between hydrogen and hydrogen, any electronegative difference is there? Between hydrogen and hydrogen, any electronegative difference is there? No electronegative difference. Then hydrogen is completely non-polar. That means no charge is developed on hydrogen. This is completely zero charge. This is also completely zero charge. This electron pair is present between two hydrogen atoms exactly in the middle. Between hydrogen and hydrogen, that electron pair is bond pair is present exactly in the middle. It is not pulled towards that hydrogen or this hydrogen. Okay, then this hydrogen is completely non-polar. This hydrogen molecule is also completely non-polar. Between non-polar molecules, the forces are weak, very weak, and those forces are called van der Waals forces. That's why hydrogen at room temperature, it is present as gas, because between hydrogen molecule and hydrogen molecule, the forces present are weak van der Waals forces. If you want to convert that hydrogen to liquid, the forces are very weak na? To get them nearer by each other, it is very difficult for us. That's why it is very difficult to liquefy hydrogen gas, as the forces are weak. When the forces are strong, they will come closer. Depending on that closeness and that one only, three types of states of matter are there: solid, liquid and gas. In solids, attractions are very strong. They are highly ordered. In liquids, attractions are somewhat weak. They are disordered. In gases, the attractions are very weak. Like that we have seen, correct or not? Here also, between hydrogen molecule and hydrogen molecule, the forces present, those are completely van der Waals forces, because completely hydrogen molecule and hydrogen molecule are non-polar. Between non-polar molecules, the weakest force is present. That force is called van der Waals force. That is the weakest force in intermolecular forces. Is it okay, ma? Next, coming to HCl and HCl. Between hydrogen and chlorine, this bond is there, covalent bond. There is a electronegative difference. Because of that, chlorine is getting delta negative charge, hydrogen is getting delta positive charge. Same in this way, hydrogen has delta positive and chlorine has delta negative. Because of this negative charge and positive charge, attraction will be generated, dipole-dipole attraction. Electrostatic attraction will be developed, but that is weak charge, negative charge and positive charge. Okay, ma? That is weak charge when compared to Cl minus. Complete negative charge is high. This is somewhat weak charge, na? Okay. Then this attraction present between these two HCl molecules is called dipole-dipole attraction. This attraction is stronger than van der Waals forces, because in van der Waals forces no charges are also there. No charges are present. Because of that, between one molecule of hydrogen and another molecule of hydrogen, we have weakest van der Waals forces. Next stage, dipole-dipole attractions. Dipole-dipole attractions are stronger than van der Waals forces. Next, coming to H bond. Between hydrogen and fluorine also electronegative difference is there, but that electronegative difference is very high because fluorine is highly electronegative, highest electronegative atom. Then this delta negative is very high. This is delta negative, delta positive is very high. Between these fluorine and hydrogen, that is also electrostatic attraction only, but that is stronger than dipole-dipole attractions. That's why they kept one separate name, that is called H bond. Okay, like this, three types of intermolecular forces will be existed. Those three types of forces are van der Waals forces, dipole-dipole forces, hydrogen bond. Van der Waals forces are weaker than dipole-dipole attractions. Dipole-dipole attractions are weaker than hydrogen bond. This is the order. Okay, so if you see any molecule contains hydrogen bond, generally that hydrogen bonded molecules contain high melting and boiling points, because if attractions are strong, we need high temperature to convert them from liquid to gas. How liquid will be converted to gas, ma? By breaking the attractions between water and water molecule. How water is converted to vapor? By breaking the forces between water and water molecules, correct? By breaking the forces between water and water molecule. If that forces are very weak, boiling point of water is not 100 degrees centigrade. It will be very less. As water is contained by hydrogen bonds between one water molecule and another water molecule, its boiling point is high, that is 100 degrees centigrade. So to convert that water from liquid state to gas state, we require high temperature. Then they have high boiling points. So the strong force, if the molecule contains strong force, it contains high boiling point. If the molecule contains weak force, they have low melting and boiling points. Okay? See, water is present as liquid at room temperature. HCl is present as gas only, but in that gas state also attractions between HCl and HCl will be stronger, coming to H and H, H2 and H2. In gas state H2 and H2, okay, we have weakest van der Waals forces now. We have weakest van der Waals forces. This is the thing. Coming to these three molecules examples, if you want to convert these molecules from gas state to liquid state, it is very easy by converting water when compared to HCl. HCl can be converted from gas state to liquid state easily when compared to hydrogen. So if the forces are strong, generally they will be tending to be in liquid state or solid state. If the forces are very weak, then they are present in gas state. Like that we can explain three types of forces. Those three types of forces are van der Waals forces, dipole-dipole forces and hydrogen bond formation, hydrogen bond. Okay, now coming to alkanes, between alkane, one molecule and another molecule, no charges will be present, na? So they have weak van der Waals forces. When they have weak van der Waals forces, they are generally existed in gas state. That's why first four compounds, methane, ethane, propane, butane, these are existed as gases. From there onwards, number of carbons are increased. When molecular weight increases, intermolecular forces, even though van der Waals forces also slightly increases. When intermolecular forces are increased, the molecules will come closer and state also will be varied. First four molecules, they are existed as gases. From 5th to 17th, they are present as liquids. 17 above, C18, C19 like that, they are present as solids. Even though those are solids, in that molecules are present with van der Waals forces, those are soft solids. Some solids can be cut with knife also, because the forces present between one molecule and another molecule in that type of solids are very weak. Is it okay, ma? Next, one more explanation. CH3, CH2, 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 sorry, CH3, butane. CH3, C, CH3, CH3, butane. This is isobutane, 2-methyl propane. Both have same number of carbons. Butane has 4 carbons, 2-methyl propane also has 4 carbons. Okay, but butane, it is a straight chain. When it is straight chain, it has large surface area. When it has large surface area, between one molecule and another molecule, intermolecular forces will be, in van der Waals force also little bit strong. When it is little bit strong, it has high boiling point and melting point. Coming to this 2-methyl propane, it has branched chain. Slightly it is getting spherical type. Straight chain means like this oval shape we are expecting. When branches are increased, this is slightly getting spherical. Further, if more branches are increased, we will get spherical, like this round. Spherical means less area, less surface area. Less surface area means intermolecular forces are weak. When intermolecular forces are weak, this one has less boiling point when compared to this one. So, final conclusion is, when branches are increased, this one is contained by van der Waals force only, this one is also contained by van der Waals forces. But when branches are increased, those van der Waals forces also are getting weak. When branches are increased, those van der Waals forces are also getting weak, and the molecule's boiling point is getting decreased. That is the thing. Straight chain compound with 4 carbons. Branched chain compound with 4 carbons. Among these two, which one has high melting and boiling point? Straight chain compound. That is the meaning. I am telling once again, with same number of carbons I am checking straight chain and branched chain. When branches are getting increased, boiling points will be getting decreased. So this one has higher boiling point when compared to 2-methyl propane. Finally, one more example I will say. After that we will shift to alkenes. Let us see that one. Coming to pentane, straight chain, CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, straight chain compound, greater than CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. This one is greater than CH3C, CH3, CH3, CH3. This is getting more branched when compared to this one. This is more branched when compared to this one. Boiling point wise, if you want to come explain, straight chain compound has higher boiling point when compared to slightly branched chain. This one is contained by higher boiling point when compared to more branched chain. Like that, when branches are getting increased, boiling points will be decreased. Because surface area decreases. When surface area is decreased, intermolecular forces decreases. When intermolecular forces are decreased, we can convert that liquid state to gas state easily by little bit temperature itself, little bit heat energy, because of the temperature is less, boiling point is less. Okay, one more example. Petrol and water. Water contains hydrogen bond. Petrol contains weak van der Waals forces. Which one can be volatile? Means petrol can be converted to gas state easily. Water cannot be converted to gas state. Water has high boiling point, petrol has low boiling point. That's why while we are filling the bike with petrol also, immediately we will close that lid. As soon as petrol is filled, immediately we will close the lid, because immediately that petrol is getting vaporized. While it is filling itself, if you observe, slightly vapors will be coming out, because they are all low boiling point liquids, highly volatile. Those highly volatile can catch the fire easily and they will be highly inflammable. Is it okay, ma? They are already fuels, ma. In that fuels, easily evaporatable liquids will catch fire easily. That is the thing. So when branches are increased, boiling points will be decreased. That is the point we covered in that para. Okay, ma? Totally three types of forces I explained. What are those three types of forces? Weakest van der Waals forces between non-polar molecules. Between O2 and O2 also, weak van der Waals forces only. Between N2 and N2 also, weak van der Waals forces. Like this, all are van der Waals forces if you have non-polar molecules. If polar molecules are there, dipole-dipole attractions will be present, as well as strongest hydrogen bonds are also present. Okay, ma? Hydrogen bonds are formed by only three atoms: fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. Remaining all high electronegative atoms, they will form dipole-dipole attractions only. Okay, ma? This is about alkanes chapter. In alkanes, we have started with IUPAC nomenclature. After that, isomerism. Next, preparations, physical properties, chemical properties, conformations of alkene. Under that, conformations of ethane we have seen. Those are two: staggered form and eclipsed form. Those are shown on paper by using two projections. Those are Savar's projection and Newman projection. Okay, ma? This is the completion of alkanes. Like this, we have alkenes, alkynes, and aromatic hydrocarbons also. No problem, we will complete soon only. Okay, this is about alkanes topic. Next, we have to enter into alkenes. Alkenes also contain initially IUPAC nomenclature, isomerism. Ma? Those IUPAC nomenclature and isomerism topics, if you see also, you can understand easily. Please, once again, I am requesting, open the textbook and see in alkenes, isomerism, IUPAC nomenclature and isomerism. Okay. After that, what are the topics we have? That one I will explain now. I will start that one. Please, if you have any doubt under nomenclature and isomerism also, you can ask me. Once again, I will go through. Because already completed, ma. So many IUPAC nomenclature names we have seen. With double bonds as well as triple bonds also we have seen. Like that, they gave examples. Okay, once they gave the structure of ethene first. Structure of ethene we explained in basic concepts of organic chemistry itself. Once see that one, I explained clearly. Okay, after that, IUPAC nomenclature. They gave some examples: propene, but1-ene, but2-ene, buta 1,3-diene. Like that examples they give. And problem 13.7 examples they give. All those things you can write on your own. Okay, isomerism, structural isomerism it will show, and position isomerism. Double bond, if it is present on first position, that is 1-butene. Second position 2-butene. Those two are position isomers. Like that, chain isomerism also possible in alkenes. Okay, this is about isomerism. Next, geometrical isomerism we have to see. Okay, that is very important. Now I will go through what is a geometrical isomerism. While I was teaching isomerism topic, it is classified into two types. I discussed that it was classified into two types: structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Under structural isomerism, again 6 under categories are there. Under stereoisomerism, 2 are there: geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. There I told this geometrical isomerism you will study in alkenes topic. Like that I told. Now it got. Okay. In alkenes, we have C double bond C. Suppose example ethene, ma. C double bond C. Between carbon and carbon, double bond is present in which rotation is restricted. So there is no chance of carbon and carbon to rotate. But in alkanes, it can be rotated. We have seen conformations. Here, there is no chance of rotation. But ethene, it is possible. Sorry, not ethene, ma. I will take one more example. For understanding double bond, I told like this. Okay, double bond as present between carbon and carbon, there is no chance of rotation. It is locked. Okay, now I am going to explain with the help of one example this geometrical isomerism, that is not ethene, but butene. What is that? Butene. CH3, CH, double bond CH, CH3. That is the structure of butene. Butene. Is it correct? We are going to explain geometrical isomerism in butene. We will see that one more. Between carbon and carbon, double bond is restricted. Between carbon and carbon, double bond is restricted. That's why there are two forms possible for butene. This is one form and this is another form, completely different. At a time they will be existed. Coming to previously conformations of ethane, eclipsed form and staggered form, at a time they will not be existed. Whether eclipsed form is present or staggered form, because eclipsed form rotation happened in that form and it is converted to staggered form. But here rotation is not possible. This is one molecule and this is another molecule, completely different. There one form is converted into another form. That is happening. Is it okay, ma? But here one form is not converted into another form. Rotation is restricted. But this is one form and this is another form. At a time we can take in two test tubes or two beakers. Separately we can take this form and that form. But in conformations, at a time those two forms are not existed. Whether that conformation is present in eclipsed form or staggered form, that only. Is it okay, ma? As double bond is present here, rotation is restricted. That is the thing. Now, coming to this, these two isomers, they contain same structures. Double bond is present, planar. Structures are also same. No difference in structures. Chains are also same. But what is the difference? These two CH3 groups are present on same side. Hydrogens present on same side. That is called cis isomer. Two CH3 groups are on opposite sides. Two CH3 groups are on opposite sides. This is called trans isomer. These two isomers contain same molecular formula, C4H8. These two isomers contain same molecular formula, same structure. That's why these are not coming under structural isomers. These are coming under stereo. Depending on the arrangement of groups around carbon in three-dimensional way or two-dimensional, whatever the possible, these structures are different. These isomers are different. Those are called stereoisomers. Under stereoisomers, we are discussing geometrical. Geometrical isomerism is existed because of non-rotation of the bond between carbon and carbon because of double bond existence. Then one molecule and another molecule will be completely existed at a same time. Cis isomer is existed as well as trans isomer is also existed. Okay, now when two CH3 groups are present on same side, that isomer is called cis isomer. When CH3 groups are on opposite sides, that is called trans isomer. When CH3 groups are on opposite sides, that is called trans isomer. When CH3 groups are on same side, that is called cis isomer. Is it okay, ma? Two isomers are present at same time. That's why geometrical isomerism is also called as cis-trans isomerism. Geometrical isomerism is also called as cis-trans isomerism. Geometrical isomerism is also called as cis-trans isomerism. Is it okay, ma? This is two isomers of butene. These two are called geometrical isomers, and that property is called geometrical isomerism. The property of compounds which contain same molecular formula but differed in arrangement of alkyl groups surrounding the carbon are called geometrical isomers, and that property is called geometrical isomerism. Geometrical isomers are of two types. Those are cis isomer and trans isomer. In cis isomer, these methyl groups are on same side. In trans isomer, these methyl groups are on opposite side. Is it okay? Now, boiling point of cis isomer and boiling point of trans isomer, I would like to explain. Let us see that one. Observe carefully, all of you. This carbon is bonded to CH3, this carbon is also bonded to CH3. Okay? Observe carefully. This carbon undergoes sp2 hybridization. This carbon undergoes sp3 hybridization. This carbon undergoes sp2 hybridization. This carbon undergoes sp3 hybridization. Because this carbon is surrounded by 4 sigma bonds. This carbon is surrounded by 3 sigma bonds. 1, 2, 3, sp2. Remember, sp2 hybridized carbon is more electronegative than sp3 hybridized carbon. First, remember that point. That explanation after completion of this I will give. One more time I am telling, note down if you want. Okay, sp2 hybridized carbon is more electronegative than sp3 hybridized carbon. sp2 hybridized carbon is more electronegative than sp3 hybridized carbon. Okay, now this sp2 hybridized carbon is more electronegative when compared to this carbon. Correct? Then that bond pair will be shifted towards this carbon side. Correct, no? So vector means this direction is towards this side, this carbon. Next, between these two carbons, this carbon is sp2 hybridized. So the bond will be shifted towards this side. This carbon is getting delta negative, this carbon is delta negative, this carbon is getting delta positive, this carbon is getting delta positive. Is it okay, man? Now, these two directions will result that negative charge downwards. These two are resulting this one into downwards. Suppose example, one rope is there tied with 5 kg stone. This side also one rope is there which has 5 kg. Same, this 5 kg stone is tied with this rope and this rope. Now, please understand carefully. I am pulling this rope like this, in this direction, in this direction. Then this 5 kg stone will move like this. Is it correct or not? One more time. I tied this rope into my hand, and here I tied one 5 kg stone. Here also I kept one rope, and this is also tied to 5 kg rope, 5 kg stone. Now I am making these two moves like this, two hands. Then this rope is moved, this rope is moved at a time. Then this 5 kg stone will be result like this. So when two forces are like this, resultant will be like this, like that. When two forces are like this one, resultant will be downward direction. resultant will be downward. When resultant is downward, that resultant is because of delta negative only, so it is polar. This is not cancelled. So this molecule is polar, means charge is present. Some charge is present. Now coming to this trans isomer. This sp2 hybridized carbon, this is sp3. This is sp2 hybridized carbon, this is sp3. Between sp2 and sp3, which is more alternative to sp2, so the bond will be pulled towards this side. Same way, this bond will be pulled towards this carbon. Now, this is in this way, this is in this way. Both are exactly in opposite directions. 1 5 kg stone is there. I kept two hands like this and I am applying force. Same force I am applying. Then that 5 kg stone cannot move. Because forces, same forces with magnitude on opposite direction cancelled with each other. Cancelled with each other. So two persons, one object is there. Two persons, they are applying same force on that object. That object cannot move because exactly in opposite directions forces are coming now, so that it cannot move. That means forces are getting cancelled. Like this here also, this force and this force is getting cancelled. This force and this force is getting cancelled, opposite directions. Then when they are cancelled, no charge is present. When it is not cancelled, charge is present. When charge is present, this is called polar. When charge is not present, this is called non-polar. Trans isomer is non-polar. Cis isomer is polar in nature. Polar contains dipole-dipole attractions. Polar means charge is present. It has dipole-dipole attractions. When dipole-dipole attractions are present, coming to here, in trans isomer, it is non-polar. Non-polar means weakest forces are present. Those are called van der Waals forces. Okay. So if you consider two cis molecules, if you consider two trans molecules, between cis molecules, strong dipole-dipole attractions are there. Between trans molecules, weak van der Waals forces are there. So which forces are strong? Cis isomer forces are strong. When cis isomer forces are strong, it has high boiling point. Okay. When trans isomer forces are weak, it has low boiling point. That's why in textbook they give cis-butene. Cis-butene has boiling point 277 Kelvin. Trans-butene has boiling point 274 Kelvin. Because of this difference, trans contain 274 low boiling point, cis contain 277 higher boiling point because of this force. I hope you are clear. These two forces are like this, then resultant will be like this. When there is resultant not cancelled, that is polar molecule. When there is resultant cancelled, that is called non-polar molecule. In this condition, resultant is cancelled because exactly opposite directions forces are present. Here I am treating these arrow marks are like forces for your understanding purpose. Actually, these are charges. Charge magnitude it contains both magnitude as well as direction. When they are exactly opposite directions, those two vectors are getting cancelled. Here, these two are not exactly opposite in this inclined position. Then resultant will be downward. When there is resultant not cancelled, that is polar molecule. When there is resultant cancelled, that is called non-polar molecule. In polar molecules, boiling points are high when compared to non-polar molecules' boiling points. That's why cis isomer has 277 Kelvin boiling point. Trans isomer has 274 Kelvin boiling point. That is the explanation. I hope you are clear now. I considered these arrow marks like forces and I explained. This one is better understood by considering this example. One rope is tied to 5 kg stone. Same from other side, another rope is present and I am pulling these two in this direction, because like this in some direction angle, then resultant 5 kg stone will not move this side or this side, it will move like this. I hope you know these two, if they are move like this, 5 kg stone will move above. Okay, now if exact opposite directions, if you have this 5 kg stone between two ropes and pulling with same force, that 5 kg stone will not move. That is in this condition. Okay, ma? When that resultant is not cancelled, that is polar molecule. When that resultant is cancelled, that is called non-polar molecule. Automatically, polar contains dipole-dipole attractions, non-polar contains van der Waals forces, weak van der Waals forces. That's why this one has low boiling point when compared to cis isomer. They mentioned that boiling points also. Okay, this is about cis trans isomerism as well as boiling point and boiling point explanation for cis isomer and trans isomer. These two are different isomers, different compounds existed at the same time, in which they are differed by some physical properties. Among that, this is one of the physical properties, that is boiling point. One compound has one boiling point, another compound has another boiling point. Okay, ma'am? This is about cis trans isomerism in alkenes. We completed today. Preparations of alkenes, physical properties, chemical properties, in next class we will see. Okay, I hope you are clear about today's class, everyone. Okay, if you have any doubts, don't hesitate anything. Please immediately you can make message, or if it is not possible, you can make, if it is not possible to explain by message, you can make a call and you can ask me, no problem. Okay, here 3 types of intermolecular forces I have discussed. Those 3 you can keep in mind. Depending on that, boiling points can be explained easily. Those 3 types of forces are weakest van der Waals forces, dipole-dipole attractions, and hydrogen bond. Okay, among these weakest van der Waals forces, already it is mentioned that weakest. Those are weak forces. No? Van der Waals forces are weak. Next, dipole-dipole attractions are little bit stronger than van der Waals forces. After that, strongest forces are hydrogen bond. These are all I am talking about intermolecular forces only. These are weaker than covalent bond and ionic bond. Those are actual chemical bonds. These are all attractions between one molecule and another molecule. Okay, sp2 hybridized carbon is more electronegative than sp3 hybridized carbon. We will see later. That one slowly you will get explanation. No problem. When sp2 hybridized carbon is highly electronegative, that bond will be shifted towards this carbon. So I am showing arrow mark this towards this carbon. Same way I am showing arrow mark this two. Resultant downward. When resultant is not cancelled, it is polar molecule. Here towards this direction and towards this. Both are exactly opposite directions. Then it will be cancelled. If it is cancelled, it is non-polar molecule. Exactly, if it is cancelled, it is non-polar. Okay, ma? I hope you understood today's concept. Depending on that, we explained boiling point also. Okay? Any sort of doubts, you can ask me anytime, no problem. Okay, ma? Thank you all. Have a nice day. Thank you once again. I wish you a very happy new year in advance. Thank you, ma'am.